Kev here. Warning, beware, danger. Don't use false or fake case notes that you find randomly on the internet. They can cause you all kinds of problems, as you'll see in this video. So watch and you'll find out. Hello, it's Kev here. Time for a video, a quick one, because I've got a lesson coming up soon. Talking about the dangers of using dubious case notes from the internet. So I'll put my disclaimer up first. Fair use, non-profit, etc. You know the score. Now, this is from that file on the internet I'm sure lots of you have. 50 letters and samples, yeah? So here we can see this is for medicine, right? We're writing a discharge to the GP of the patient because she's going back to her apartment after she gets out of the hospital. You're discharging her to, okay. But these case notes, which I was sent, now it's been changed into a nursing writing task. So the family name, Dicozio, if that's how you say it, but now it's a woman, and it says write a letter to the nurse at the long-term care home where she will go. But here, so they've changed this, but look, discharge back to apartment. So it's the same case notes. Whoever has made this file, wherever you found it, somewhere presumably for free on the internet, and they've simply changed this, but it's got an internal contradiction, right? It says back to the apartment, her apartment, but now it says she's going to a long-term care home. Why would she go there? Makes no sense. Internal contradictions, yeah? Prouters mental health home. So let me just check on this one. I think you're supposed to be. Oops. Let's have a look. Right. So does it say right? She's a patient in a psychiatric ward. We were working as a doctor or nurse. Right. So she came in to the hospital and she's going to be discharged. Oops. Where are we? Yeah. Right. But here, it's a care home, but it says discharge back to the apartment. So, if you're gonna change it, if you're going to copy notes and change them, at least do it correctly so there's no internal contradictions. Anyway, that being said, that's the first thing. Okay. So she's writing back, but like here though, she's like, says here, is discharged back to her apartment. But according to these case notes that she just sent me, it doesn't say that. It says she's going back to the long-term care home where the patient will go following discharge. So does that refer to she's going back to her apartment and then she's got a follow-up at the mental health clinic? Is that what it means? But it says here where the patient will go following discharge. So I'm confused. Okay. Let's have a look. That's something else. Okay. I'm writing to... Oh. Now, right. But it's not an update. If I have never met this patient before, how can it be an update? If you're writing to the GP, if I'm her GP, right, then I don't know what happened in hospital or what's the plan for the future. In that case, yeah, it would be an update. It would be new information for me. But if you're writing to some nurse at a mental health kind of thing, and again, it says like, hang on, where are we? Right. So mental health kind of home, but in here it says discharge with at the Proudhurst Mental Health Clinic. So a clinic is not a home. A home's where you go to stay. A clinic is where you visit. Right? So you've got all these internal contradictions. So it's no wonder that your letters are not going to be accurate. Anyway, I've said that a thousand times. So update you. So it's not an update. I'm not a GP. It's new information. Right. Current condition, under our care, ready for discharge and follow up at the clinic. But those case notes that you sent me say that she's going to a long-term mental health kind of home, which is not the same thing. Okay. Now, she self-admitted, right? On admission. She was what? So she was admitted on admission? Really? No, she self-admitted. Why? Because she did coke the night before. That's what it says. So, admission date 1st of March. Last used cocaine the 28th of the 2nd. So the night before, she did some coke. So that probably started her off. Yeah. So, Miss Taylor self-admitted on 1st of March. Now, let's have a look at this case. There's something else I want to have a look at. I'll just put this PD up. Now, I think these are pretty much... let me see. Let me just check this out. What's it say? Complaints of illusions, delusions, aggression, thought blocking, and latency. Okay, yeah. Aggressive, thought blocking, latency. So that's not too bad. A bit of paraphrasing there, because you have to paraphrase. You can't use the same words. Literary, auditory, delusion, visual, agitated. Okay, so that's not so bad. Right. Delusion, thought aggression, thought latency. Therefore, Risperdalrone was commence. Well, so if it's passive, it will be was commence because it's verb number 3. But she was commenced on. So therefore, Miss Taylor was commenced on. Right? Not Risperdalrone was commenced. During hospitalisation, Miss Taylor was assessed with psychosis, redirected from delusion, as well as ensuring compliance with medication. What does it say about that? What happened? Management, redirection. Okay, address off. Right, so these are now. These are more or less copy and pasted from the case notes. You can't really do that. Redirected for delusion, ensuring compliance with medication. So that's essentially a copy and paste. That's literally word for word from the notes. As a result, she can focus on daily living activities and has not reported any signs of thought blocking or latency. But did it say she reported them? So, right, there's no signs, as in you can't see. She didn't report, I am not thought blocking and I am not latent. She didn't say that. There's no signs. Right. She can focus on this and has not, and no signs of thought blocking and latency have been noticed. You can do that in passive, but have not report. Ed, she's not going to report it. So signs were noticed. Present, she's third judgment and good insight. Judgment there, insight good. Okay. This is why I put up the case notes. I don't usually do so, but because there was some confusion in the notes, and because I noticed that these are pretty similar to the exact wording of the case notes. So at present, however, likely just not, if she does not comply compliance is a noun. If not, medications, good progress, insight, good judgment, fair, can decompensate. Okay. So, decompensate is like it if he does not comply with medication or abuse substances. Discharged back to her apartment. Appreciated if you could guide Miss Taylor to take all this boat of mine. Okay. So, like I said, you need to be a bit careful there because a lot of this is nearly copied word for word from the notes. And the notes do actually say, do not use note form, expand relevant case notes into complete sentences, expand them. It's an English test, you've got to paraphrase. You can't just do a copy-paste kind of job, right? That's not how it's going to work. And like I say, right, these are the medicine ones, but if you look at supposed to be for the nursing ones, again, it's confusion. Yeah? So, first thing, use proper notes. OET.com. There's plenty of them. If you don't have any, if you can't find any, message me. I'll send you some. Alright? But don't be using random stuff because it's free on the internet. Not everything on the internet is good or viable. So just keep that in mind and try and paraphrase a little bit more. Don't just, take a note and make it into a sentence, which is more or less word for word. And there's some grammar stuff here, as I've said. So, hope that helps. I'm going to go. So, I'll see you next time. So, there you go. I hope you see my point. You need to be very careful about the material that you use in your OET practice and preparation. Only use official OET material. There's plenty of case notes on the site. You can buy some. I'm sure you can find some, but try and use official materials to avoid those problems that you've just seen. So, I'll see you next time. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Got any comments, want to contact me, all the information's in the links below. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye for now.